right. Here we go. Looks like we're good to go. What's up, YouTube? It's time. We're here. We're live. Welcome to the first YouTube Live. I don't think we have literally anybody in here yet. Hopefully that starts to change throughout the thing. I don't really know where to put my mic at yet. We'll get all that dialed in as the night goes. I don't know if we've got a... There we go. I'm on my MacBook here trying to dial everything in. So, yeah, we're chilling. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about some bullshit that's going on in the metal world. I feel like there's so much random shit that I know about metal music and stuff. I figure why the fuck not kick back and bullshit with YouTube about it. Let's get this chair leaned forward. There we go. Sit back and bullshit with YouTube about it. And yeah, we've got a brewski here from here, a local brewery in Ohio. Saucy Brew Works, the Boo thing. It's a natural pumpkin ale. It's pretty strong too. If you can't see right there, I think it says like 8.5%. So it's got a little bit of a alcohol content to it there. But yeah, we're gonna try this out. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna bullshit about some music. I haven't really tried so far with seeing how YouTube is with letting me view some shit, but I figure we're gonna sit down here. We're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna try some shit out. Listen to some music. Listen to what's new going on in the metal world. Maybe take some bong hits. And yeah, I mean, just have a good time. Kick back for a little bit. Hang out. So I figure we'll kick it in here for a little bit. See if anybody's gonna join. And yeah, let's crack a brewski. Cheers to the first YouTube Live, Boo thing. We got that. Oh, I suck at this right now. We got the prosthetics right in the way there. Boo thing, Imperial Pumpkin Ale at 8.5% alcohol. Let's give it a try. All right. Let's see how it tastes. Yeah, it's a brewski. That's a brewski. It tastes good. It's actually not bad at all. Yeah, so anyways, we're kicking back. Gonna drink some brews, hang out with you guys, and talk about some metal shit. I don't know what you guys, what anybody on here is gonna be interested in listening to, but I know there's like some concerts coming up that I'm trying to go to, and so I've been like listening my ass off to some of the new shit that's come out from like Opeth and stuff like that, and it's crazy because for a lot of people, a lot of you guys that don't listen to Opeth and stuff, a lot of their older albums, some of their earlier shit that came out in like what I want to say like the early 90s, late 80s was like super death metal kind of shit, like super super heavy. And then out of nowhere, years later, their guitar player and lead singer Michael Ackerfeld, he decided to like go softer and to start actually just doing like soft lyrics, like focus more on the music, like more progressive style music with like, you know, progressive guitar works, all that kind of stuff. And so they stopped doing like heavy vocals and like gut rolls and shit. Later on, yeah, their early shit's like, I think like it says right here like 95. I wish I had my buddy Christian here because he'd be able to actually sit down and break this shit down for you. But yeah, around like 95, all that kind of stuff, they had like these like really dark fucking brutal lyrics. And then all of a sudden, come like 2011, it was actually the first time that I got to go and see Opeth. And in 2011, when I first saw Opeth, they didn't have like any gut rules, and I'd been listening to them for like fucking 3, 4 fucking months with my buddy Christian, just like getting hyped for the show, getting like super pumped up about it. And the next thing I know, um, I get to the show, and he warned me. I should say he warned me right before the show that there probably wasn't going to be any gut rules, and I just chose like my first songs that I really liked by this band. I just decided on like, oh shit, hey, this is a dope song. This is a good cut, and like the next thing I know, um, I start finding out that like he looks at me and goes, hey, so there's none of these songs, none of these screaming songs are going to be at the concert. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, no, dude, they're not going to scream at all. It's all going to be like clean vocals. He doesn't scream anymore. And I was like, holy fucking shit, that kind of blows. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck do you mean he's not going to scream? That's like half of the like fun of the show, right? And so, long story short, I end up, we get to the show. There was a band that was there called Catatonia that ended up opening for him. And Catatonia really blew my mind right off the bat, just because they're out there. Like, they've got this really dope, dark, ambient metal vibe that's like really, really unique. And anyways, I hear Catatonia open for them, and I was blown away. They had this like their lead singer was really big dude. I was just blown away about what he could do with his voice. And Christian kept telling me, he's like, yo, dude, just wait. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And sure as fucking shit, the next thing I know, Opeth comes up. And just like he had said, they didn't do like any heavy songs. There wasn't any part of their set that was like super brutal or super heavy. But what I did see was like some of the most amazing musicianship that I'd seen at that time. Like, I hadn't fucking seen anybody play half that good in years. And then all of a sudden I see Opeth live for the first time, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, you've got to be kidding me. And so anyways, I just found out, when I moved here, I've had a big move. I was trying to do this on Twitch. For anybody that's following me, anybody that watches this later on or joins in, whatever, I was originally doing this on Twitch. But instead of doing it on Twitch, I decided to switch over to YouTube. And while I was doing this on Twitch, I ended up moving like clear fucking across the country. And so I had to bag everything up, come over here. I've got the fucking home studio thing set up, going on. But I've been working on music of my own and going to school and shit. And so I haven't been able to jump back on here. But long story short, my buddy Christian, after I moved over here, had told me about how Opeth is going to be coming through here in Ohio. And I was like, no shit. Oh, well, fuck, dude, we got to get tickets for it. And so I start looking around, trying to find, the concert. We find out they're coming. And I was already pumped about that. It's like one of their anniversary tours for, I think, Deliverance, or Ghost Reveries. It's one or the other. I need to fucking research that before the show. But I was jamming out to, old Opeth, and the next thing I know, I find out that there's a new fucking Opeth song out. And I was like, what the fuck? Usually my buddy Christian would hit me up about that shit, and I was like, wait a second. I didn't know they had a new cut out. Let's check it out. And so I was listening to the new Opeth cut, and I will tell you guys what, it is fucking brutal. Like, he used to have these like clean vocals and shit. Let me see if I can use YouTube while I'm on it. He used to have these like brutal lyrics and shit, right? And the next thing I know, now he's got like these clean vocals and shit. And you're like, wait a second, what? How is this fucking happening? And so, hold on, let me see how I can dial this in real quick. Bear with me just for 1 second, guys. Because I'm gonna click this shit up, and you guys are gonna be mind blown. Okay, so it should play through my audio interface so that you guys can hear it. So that you guys can hear this shit. All right, here we go. This is the new Opeth song. Dude, I hope that this doesn't get me like banned or anything like that. We're just gonna give this a shot, see if it works. See if this will work here. If you're on and you're listening, tell me if you can hear this. Let me know in the comment section if that's coming through. Are you guys able to hear that at all? All right, hold on. Let me see if I can fix it. Let me see how I can fix this real quick. Hold on 1 second. Give me a second. Whoop, hold on. Give me just a second. I'm glad that you can at least hear me talking. That's a huge plus. So there should be a thing. It did tell me earlier where I love you, baby. Hold on. Should still be good. I don't know how to share this shit and how to listen with stuff in here. Give me just a second. There's got to be a way to do it. I know there's a way to be able to do it. I'll look it up here real quick. Not a big problem. Huh. That is something that we definitely got to figure out. I wonder if it will work this way. Hold on. Instead of doing it that way, I wonder if it will work if we do it this way. Are you able to hear this, Mama? Hold on. Right here. Tell me if you can hear this. Is that coming through at all? Okay. So then maybe it's in the settings here. Still just trying to get it dialed in a little bit, you know. Just trying to make sure that we get everything in here working together. Okay, so that works. Hmm. Okay. That shouldn't be. I don't think that that's what we wanted. I really don't think that's what we wanted. We only need one of those. Yep. I don't know. This is weird. I'm not really finding anything on it. Yeah, I don't know, baby. If you want to come in and help me out with setting it up, that's fine. I'm not really seeing much on it right now. Hi, Mama. For anybody else that's going to join in, Mama's here now. So what am I supposed to go to? Yeah, because I'm not seeing a whole bunch of options in here. Either way, we're just gonna keep rolling while we're trying to figure that out. But long story short, like I said, he's got his gut rolls coming back now, so it's like super, super, super exciting. But no, yeah. Other than the Opeth thing, um, yeah, I'm hoping to go and see Fit for an Autopsy in November. That's gonna be really, really sick. I'm trying to get to as many shows as I can while still writing as much music as I can here at home. Between doing school and, we've got the newborn now, all that kind of stuff. We're really just trying to take it one step at a time and excuse me, get everything locked in. We've only been over here for a year, and so we're really trying to make it all count, you know. That's the big thing. Is we're really just trying to make it all count and take it one step at a time and do everything right. It's the goal, right? But yeah, fucking. I hope we get some more people in here because yeah, it's fun to talk about this metal shit, man. I mean, there's a lot of metal shit going on. I mean, fuck, I'm still going all the way back to when As I Lay Dying broke up. Like the band didn't just break up because of what the lead singer did, but then like the whole band, gets back together when he gets out of prison, and now it's like a completely new lineup. The only original member of the band is Tim Lambesis. You got members from every other band now in the genre that came in to replace like every member of the band. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? What the fuck? And they're releasing new music, and the new music really, in all honesty, it's really not that fucking bad. It's not bad at all. It actually sounds pretty fucking good. It just, as a person who loved As I Lay Dying so much over the years, it kind of fucking sucks that they're not there anymore. Do you know what I mean? But the original, members and shit and whatnot, but it's still, they're still going. I mean, that's all that really matters, right? They're still going, so that's good. But yeah, man, fucking, what's up, guys? Shit.
We're gonna have to do more research on the streaming live and whatnot because there's certain things that we have to do based off of copywriting and whatnot that we can share. We have to make sure that it's royalty free and whatnot before we post
Oh,
stuff.
we can't just like listen to Spotify while we're on
No,
streaming.
because we have to make sure that it's royalty free.
Oh,
If
okay.
we want to like share it, it has to be off of like Melon or some other like
Okay.
added
Okay, I guess that
thing
kind
for
of
you
makes
to
sense.
tie into like the background music with your stuff
I
while
wasn't talking about even just background music. I was talking about just like sitting here and playing
just
small
sharing a
clips.
song and then yeah.
Yeah, just playing like a small clip and how I would get that audio in through here so they could hear it, or even like sharing a video that I'm watching on YouTube or
Yeah.
something like that. But I guess, okay, I guess I'll look into that after tonight. Um, at the least, I mean, I don't know if I can turn on my monitors without freaking the microphone the fuck out because the microphone's way too strong.
Uh-huh.
But I could probably just turn it on my iPhone and do it that way for right now to share with people and to give them just like a little bit of an idea of like the shit that I'm talking about or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get that figured out.
Or you can put like a link in description or something as well.
Yeah, yeah, I can figure that out. That's not a big problem.
Be like go to and then their page and then have it
Yeah,
be which song. So
yeah, that shouldn't be hard at all though. But yeah, fucking, I think we got everything dialed in here pretty good. And so now we're just waiting for more people to come in and fucking hang out. And yeah, it's a healthy stream. I don't know how to share my. It was trying to ask me earlier how to share my desktop so that I could share like videos and shit. And then like right here, there's like a media source thing for like how to choose what media source and shit. But it won't like let me click on what one I'm trying to get. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
click browser, and then it just
You'd have to have like Apple Music in your songs
yeah.
essentially that you could post,
I think so.
and then
Yeah,
disclose that they're not yours and put in the link whatever, you know what I mean, that type of ordeal so they get cred. So
yeah. That makes sense though. But that's fine. That's fine. We'll figure it out. It's one step at a time right now. It's just trying to stream right now. We're just bullshitting about random shit anyway. And so, yeah, it's just fucking chilling, getting this shit logged in. So, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, it's crazy with the Azalea dying shit. That's kind of fucking wild. And then there's, I mean, what do we got here? One of the craziest ones. I was actually trying to look up a little bit more info on it before I started this up. I'm kind of butthurt that I didn't look up a little bit more fucking info on it before I did, because it's one of the big topics that I actually really want to talk about. But Lorna Shore and Knocked Loose playing Coachella is just something that's just going to take forever for me to wrap my mind around. Just like Coachella being one of like the biggest like metal festivals that happens every year, and it's mostly only like pop music and like random shit like that, just like stupid. I shouldn't say stupid, because every artist deserves their recognition for what they're good at. It's definitely not my genre of shit that I listen to per se. And I never really thought that Coachella would be something that I'd be like, oh, hey, fuck, I'd be down to go to Coachella. Let's get tickets. But when I found out that Knocked Loose and that Lorna Shore were playing Coachella, that was something that like really blew my mind. And I was like, holy fuck, this is insane. You've got to be kidding me. Because like Lorna Shore is like black metal, deathcore kind of shit, with like crazy blast beats, all that kind of shit. And then you've got Knocked Loose, which is in the hardcore genre, which, I mean, hardcore hasn't really gotten any recognition or, I mean, I shouldn't say it hasn't gotten any recognition. It hasn't been like a booming genre for a long time. Like they haven't had like as big of a fan base as I think that they should have. And like, hardcore, metalcore, deathcore, all of these are genres that, people have always said like, oh, if you're trying to make it as a band, that's not the kind of genre that you want to get into. It's so hard to make it as that. But at the same time, for fans like me and, like a lot of other people out there that really do enjoy these genres, to see these bands end up going and playing Coachella is like, whoa, what the fuck? You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Like, finally, we're able to get a fucking spot for some of these crazy metal bands. I mean, fuck, look, Gojira opened for the fucking Olympics, people. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, for the Olympics, Gojira, finally. And I'm not sleeping on the fact that, like, who was it? I think Nickelback opened for the Olympics at one point, and I never sleep on Nickelback in this house. We fucking love Nickelback in this house. But like nobody's really like metal wise, nobody's ever really done shit like that, In the metal world, like for some reason the metal world's been slept on for so long. There's bands like Slipknot, shit like that have gotten some good recognition over the years, and rightfully so. I mean, they're fucking great bands. They've done a lot for the genre. But when it comes to, like hardcore and like, for instance, like the band Every Time I Die, or fuck, Knocked Loose even, which is a new one, but you've got Ice-T's Body Count, um Census Fail, um fuck, so many of these guys. I'm like literally, I've just got like this overwhelming amount of them, I guess, pouring into my head. Either way, like they haven't been like that as big of a genre as I've wanted them to be over the years. And then now it's really starting to explode. Even like one of my favorite new projects, Better Lovers, which is, from one of my favorite producers of all time, who's also the guitar player in the band, Will Putney. Better Lovers is becoming this like exploding band that like just got fucking created. Like just got created. They've only been around, I think, for like a year and a half, and they're fucking exploding because people are starting to find out that hardcore shows are the fucking shit. I mean, really is. Like, they're a fucking blast to go to jump into the pit to stage dive off of. You good?
Yeah, I saw a video that made me jump.
Oh, there's fucking ladies over here jumping from fucking scare videos and shit.
Sorry.
Wifey's always in here for a good time. She's off camera right now because she's over here, but Mama is in here for anybody that is watching or is going to be watching at any fucking point. But yeah, dude. Um, fuck. I almost feel like we should get Mama scooted in here and just make her sit down and fucking sit down and talk about all these topics with me.
I'm not camera view.
She's usually the only person that talks about the shit with me. Well, fuck. If you're not camera ready, you can still sit down and just bullshit with me if you want.
I am bullshitting with you.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about this crazy shit going on in the metal world?
I only know a lot of the information from you. I don't know much, like...
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, there's like I said, so like the Asley dying thing, you know, you I remember when I was working at the Chevron back in the day, over there in Longview in Washington. Back then is when it first came up that like Tim Lambesis had been arrested. And I remember like even when you and I first got together like 13 years ago, um some of the bands that I was really into at that time were like, you know, Asking Alexandria, Trivium, um As Lay Dying was definitely one of them. In fact, like I think that uh what was the album?
The red one.
Yeah, it's the red one. I'm trying to think of the name of it right now. It's
Isn't the song Condemned, though?
no, the song Condemned is on it. Yes.
Oh.
It's oh, I really don't want to look it up right now. I have to fucking look it up. This is such a fucking failure on my point. For some reason, and I know it's not the right one. It's like I want to say World Upside Down. I think that's a name on the like a quote in the album. And it's not Frail Words Collapse because that's like way too early. It's right fucking here. The Powerless Rise is the album that I brought into our relationship. The Powerless Rise. And The Powerless Rise is a killer fucking album. I mean, Parallels is like song 4, I think, on it, and Parallels has that super fucking sick guitar riff.
We used to listen to
that fucking awesome like delay thing they've got going on. And I remember like I was listening to that song when Christian had like burned me that CD originally. It was originally a CD that I had like burned and given to me by my best friend Christian. And I remember I had even found a way on my dad's laptop. I had a fucking piece of shit old BlackBerry at the time when I was working in Portland. This old fucking like it was when like the BlackBerries, instead of having like the ball to scroll, they gone to like the little swipe pad in the middle. And I'd found out how to put that album onto that phone so that I could listen to my headphones at work and listen to that album at work. And that's where I found like my, you know me, like I usually when I'm listening to an album, there's only like 2, maybe 3 or 4 songs that I really hone in on that like really stuck out, you know, of like true like masterpiece of a fucking jam. And the first song that really hit me on that album was Parallels because it's got that super bright intro, but it's still fucking heavy, you know. And then obviously the fucking riff for Condemned, the main riff for Condemned is by far, in my opinion, right now even, and I will fucking say this right now, and I hope that this gets some fucking views and some quotes from some people later, but the main riff for the song Condemned by As Lay Dying has to go down as one of the most brutal metalcore riffs of all fucking time. Like of all time. And for some reason that song is like slept on. Is an As Lay Dying song. Like people just don't, when people are like talking about like the greatest As Lay Dying jams, you know, and like, oh, Nothing Left is like fucking an anthem and all that shit. It's like, dude, the song Condemned is beyond a masterpiece. It's one of those riffs that no matter how many times I hear that guitar riff, it just gets stuck in my head and I have to headbang to it.
It's like what Christian says, though. Literally, like, you find the, like, the one piece out of the entire song that you put on repeat, even if it's 15 seconds long, and you're like, you listen to this, listen to this,
Yeah.
listen to this. Like, have you heard this? Like, really listen to it, you know? And sometimes, like, I appreciate those moments because I did not notice that in a song before.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, sometimes that's just the banger that hooks you, and that's why you just repeat the introduction 1,000 times.
Well, and that's what sucks about that song, though. That is the one complaint that I do have about that fucking song, and that is that, like, I love that guitar riff more than anything, but that guitar riff's only in the fucking, like, beginning and the end of that song.
Right.
So in order to hear that, like, riff, and especially to get, like, my use out of it, I guess you could say, you know, when I'm trying to get, like, inspired and I'm trying to jam out, I've got to hear, like, I'll sit there and just rewind back to the beginning, and just so I can hear that one part of the fucking riff every time, because it's just so brutal, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, that's what, once again, I think that might be one of the things that's, like, been hard on metal throughout the years, of making metal a genre that is hard to follow for a lot of people, is because I think that there's a lot of, like, song structure that, like, you know, a lot of metal artists are like, oh, this riff is really sick, let's just go ahead and build a bunch of shit around it and, like, just throw a song together, because, like, being in the music industry, you're pushed to constantly write. Like, you need to get, like, you know, I think if you have, like, a 6-record deal, or 6-album record deal, then it means that you have to pump out, because they only give you a certain amount of years in order to do this shit. And so, like, if you have, like, a 6-album record deal, you might only have, like, 3 years to pump out these 6 albums. 3 or 4 years. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you have to actually, like, as a job, because you owe that money back, all the money that they fronted you, you have to sit down and pump out as much material as you can. And so I think that some of these bands, when they write a guitar riff like that, that's so heavy and so brutal, but then, like, think about it, you've got 13, 14 other songs that you've already pumped out. You know, you've used up all of your other gangster ass material, that some of these riffs end up falling into these songs and getting lost.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's what bums me out about, like, what's happening in metal today, is that's happened for a long time with a lot of these bands. Whether it's, you know, I mean, fuck, there's still a couple of Slipknot songs that I feel like have been slept on throughout the years. Where, like, on All Hope Is Gone, they had that song, what is it, the Faded Black or some shit like that. And in my opinion, once again, it's one of the heaviest Slipknot songs of all time.
Is that the one you couldn't find on Spotify for the longest time, and then all of a sudden it's just on Spotify now?
No, that one I think is still gone, but there's a special featured song on the I think you had to buy the special edition of All Hope Is Gone, and there was a what do they call it? It's like a bonus song on the album when you buy the, like, special edition of the album or whatever, and it was called A Child of Burning Time. And that song was like, it was kind of like back in the day, I don't know if you remember, but there used to be hidden songs on some CDs back in the day. Like, on some records there'd be, like, hidden tracks where you'd listen to, like, track 12 or whatever, and then at the end of track 12, if you wait 5 seconds before you skip over, there's another song inside of track 12 that you'd have to listen to the whole song on that album in order to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many people that are so used to skipping through songs that they're just like, oh, fuck this track, I don't want to listen to it. And so they'll miss that bonus track. Well, then, like, over time, instead of hiding the bonus tracks, you have to buy the special edition of the album, and then they tell you, oh, this album, you know, this special edition has this bonus track. You know, track 14 through 16 are bonus tracks now.
Right.
And so Child of Burning Time was one of those tracks. And back then, I had been, you know, I was in and out of, you know, my whole, you know, bullshit with, you know, foster care, whatever. And I was sharing albums with, you know, a kid going through the same shit as me. And honest to God, I remember for, like, at least, like, 3, maybe like 2 years of listening to All Hope Is Gone. Child of Burning Time was a song that I would, like, skip over again and again and again and again. It was something that, like, didn't really hold a lot of, like, pull on me music wise. You know, as a song, I was just like, oh, this is boring. And then out of nowhere, I think I was like reading, drawing. I was doing something because I wasn't like just focused on the music, you know, so I wasn't like just sitting there ready to skip over the next song so I could jam on the next one. And that's when I heard the chorus of that song. And when the chorus of A Child of Burning Time comes on, it is easily one of the most beautiful masterpieces of Slipknot that they've ever done. And like Corey Taylor is somebody that I don't care what happens in the metal world, what happens to the genre. I really don't care, but like Slipknot, Corey Taylor, he has such a massive amount of talent, and his voice is just so big when it comes to like not just Slipknot, but like once again like Stone Sour, Roadrunners United from back in the day. He was on he was on that reel to reel documentary thing with Dave Grohl and all that shit, and the Sound City, yeah.
Yep.
And like Corey Taylor has one of those voices that is going to carry on forever. I mean, it's up there with Chester Bennington, with Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, Eddie Vedder. Like it's up there with like the legends, the voices that you're never going to fucking forget. But that's one of the other things that I was going to bring up in all of these, you know, topics of what's going on new in the metal world. You know, Slipknot's old as fuck. You know, they're going to move on in the next year, maybe 2 years. And Corey Taylor's fucking son is in the metal world now. And not just his son, but Sean Cran, Clown, the guy who invented fucking Slipknot. His son is in the metal world now. And they're in a band called Ven Dead. And dude, I don't know if you sat down and listened to him or not with me yet, babe. But when you sit down and you listen to this shit, even their new shit, I just sat down and listened to their new song literally like 2-3 days ago. He sounds just like his fucking dad.
I think I have heard.
I mean, like spot on, sounds just like his dad. On their new track, when I listened to the new track, I couldn't, like, I looked through all of the details of it and shit as soon as I found it on YouTube. I was diving through the details and shit of that track, trying to find like any feature of Corey Taylor, because I was like, dude, tell me that you were like singing backup vocals behind your dad when like the song was recorded or something, because there's no way that you sound literally just fucking like Corey Taylor, like just fucking like him, and he's spot on. And like it, part of me gets mad about it because part of me is like, oh well, you know, your daddy's in the music world, so now you get to be, you know, successful in the music world. But then I think about it, and when I hear it, I'm like, well, fuck, isn't that kind of good news? Because I mean, if Slipknot is going to like step off and retire, we get to keep Corey Taylor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, at least Corey's son sounds just like him. I wish I could say the same thing for, I mean, I know it's not metal, but I should name drop it really quick, but I wish I could say the same thing for Sublime. You know, I might get some hatred on here or whatnot, but Sublime, they're doing almost the same thing. Sublime's touring again right now. They're on a world tour right now. They even just played on the Howard Stern show and shit. And it's his son. It's Bradley's son is the lead singer of Sublime. And he does not sound just like his father.
Huh.
He plays with his shirt off just like his dad. He has the whole getup just like him. He plays the guitar, sings, does the shirtless getup thing. He's in a lot better shape than his dad. He doesn't have like the beer belly, the party dad bod or whatever. But literally, he like you can see that he's trying to do his dad proud, which, yeah, I mean, kudos to you, bro, obviously. But at the same time, like, listening to it, he does not sound like his dad. Like, there's zero things to the new Sublime that sound like his father. And so it's interesting, you know, when you sit back and you think about it, because, I mean, I get wanting to carry on your dad's legacy and all that kind of stuff. And, like, especially if you come from that kind of a background, you know, like, I could only imagine what, like, Chester Bennington's son or like Chris Cornell's son, even talking about Corey Taylor and his son, I could only imagine what it would be like to be the son of that motherfucker and try doing what he's already been so fucking successfully like doing for years, what he's known for across the entire globe. Like, it's not just a few fucking people jam your dad's music here and there, bro.
Yeah.
No, like, I never thought that I'd fucking live to see the day where I could say it, but fucking Slipknot's damn near a fucking household name today. I mean, I can't think of... I mean, my grandma knows who Slipknot is, dude. My grandma bought me my fucking Slipknot album. My first Slipknot album that I ever, like, got to own was Subliminal Verses Chapter 3. And my grandma bought me that fucking CD from Fred Meyer 150 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
You know? But that's what I'm saying is, like, it's really crazy to sit back and think about that. Because, I mean, once again, I'm dying to know what the future of metal is going to hold. Because, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a dying genre right now. I think it's the opposite. I think that metal is actually starting to have more of kind of a resurgence than anything before. I mean, like I said, between the Coachella thing that happened with Lorna Shore and with Knocked Loose, some of the shit that the new bands are coming out with. I mean, Five Finger Death Punch is getting more and more recognition over the years. You know, I mean, I think Disturbed has only become bigger and bigger since we were fucking kids. Yeah. I mean, they really are a household name. And, like, even David Draymond, when you see some of their live videos and shit on YouTube, he makes the remark at a lot of their concerts that, like, Disturbed is a family event. You know, when you go and you see Disturbed live, it's a family event. You're supposed to bring your kids. Yeah. You know, you're supposed to bring the wife and, you know, the brother and everybody else along because they want everybody to be included. You know, because they're such a big band, and they really fucking are. I mean, think about it. When we were kids, Down with the Sickness was already an oh my god fucking hit. Same thing with the song Prayer and fucking Stupefy and all that shit. As a kid, these were all fucking bangers is jams. Just straight bangers, hardcore. And now, I don't know if I've listened to a lot of the new Disturbed, to be honest with you. I don't think I've listened to, like, maybe the past 2-3 albums. Maybe even a little bit more than that. But, like, all the way up to 10,000 Fists, you know, I think Indestructible was probably one of the last. That one or Asylum, whichever one came first, was one of the last Disturbed albums that I, like, sat down and, like, actually, like, listened to. Because, I mean, I hate to be one of those guys, but, like, Disturbed really kind of is one of those bands still that they've never changed.
I knew you were going to say that.
Like, they...
throw your shit, too, because you're like, oh, Nickelback.
Oh, I know. And, like, yeah, that's what everyone makes fun of me for as a Nickelback fan, is everyone always wants to say, like, oh, every Nickelback album sounds the fucking same, and you're fucking all wrong. Just a heads up. Everybody is so wrong for ever even thinking that. But... like, Disturbed for me, I don't know. Maybe it is just because, like, I was so picky and stuff for a long time. Maybe that really is the main, like, problem with that. Because, and I don't mean to be. I really have struggled for a long time now, especially, like, recently, to not be as, like, picky with music at all, but to, like, really open up and, like appreciate all of the different genres no matter what. But it's hard because I know what I like. And if it ain't fucking broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? And I don't mean anything by that, but, like, what I mean by that is I'm trying to open up more to listening to more genres and listening to more music so that I'm not in a writer's block ever, but also so that I'm not sleeping on something that I should be listening to. You know what I mean? So that I don't I mean, I know that, like, my wife remembers, I know better than anybody, when I really found out who John Mayer was. And, like, as a metalhead, you know, I mean, I've got my soft spot as a metalhead. You know, all my friends have always made the joke, oh, you know how I know you're gay? You know, you listen to Coldplay. But I do listen to fucking Coldplay. I do listen to Nickelback. I do listen to Smile Empty Soul. Fucking motherfucker, I listen to Seal. Like, a lot. Okay? I enjoy that shit. But I enjoy good music. You know, I can't remember what rapper it is right now. I think it was that Mike Bars dude had that quote where he said, I'll bump T Swift if it sounds dope. You know, like that's really where I'm at now. If it sounds good, like I'll fucking check it out. I'll sit down, I'll give anything a listen. But at the same time, you know, for so long I was so shut out to all of that kind of music that like I'd known who John Mayer was for a long time. I'd heard a bunch of his hits, but I didn't really know like that John Mayer was a fucking incredible guitar player or anything like that until like fuck. I think it was probably around like 10, maybe 11 years ago because I was sitting down going on a rampage of downloading every album, every artist that I could even think of. Just trying to step out of my like metal rut of just like shit, I need to hear something different so that I can write something that I've never written before. And I remember throughout all the years of owning like Guitar Worlds and all that shit, John Mayer had popped up like 100 times, you know, in all my Guitar Worlds and all these interviews that I'd seen and shit. And just randomly one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to look this guy up. There's no way that many people talk about him and that he sucks like that bad. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be something decent about this dude, you know? And I will never forget that night. Because that was the night where I listened to like 2 or 3 of his songs. And I honestly was going to cash it in. I was just going to be like, okay, yeah, dude's got a good voice. You know, he can kind of play guitar. And that's when I fell on the live video of Gravity by John Mayer. And I will never fucking forget sitting there and watching that video at least 100 fucking times. I mean, that night, you know, I'm probably overshooting. That night I probably watched it like 20, 30 times.
It felt like
easily. Easily. And like the part that got me every single time, and I mean, I sat down literally the whole song all the way through, and that live version is like 5 minutes long.
That's good.
And I sat down and like the solo at the end of that song, like you have to watch the build up to it because like all the emotion that he has throughout the whole time that he's playing that song, all the way up to the build up of that big ass fucking giant solo at the end of that song where he's just shredding on the guitar, the band's fucking smacking everything that they can behind him as hard as they can, and he's just giving that solo everything that he's got. That's when I realized I was like, oh my fucking god, I've been sleeping on John Mayer. Holy shit, this guy can play. You know what I mean? And so throughout the years, I've been trying to like step aside from some of that, like, oh, well, that's not metal music, you know, and trying to pay more attention to like, is it a good song? You know, like, is it a good bump? You know, can I jam to it? Because if you can jam to it and you can bang your head, then like, why the fuck wouldn't you enjoy it? You know what I mean? Just because everyone else in the world is like, oh, this is a shitty artist. Usually that's what makes me fucking love it more. You know, I mean, fuck, that's how I fell in love with Suicide Silence. You know? I will never forget in high school when I first even heard the band name Suicide Silence, and I was like, who the fuck is Suicide Silence? And one of my buddies was like, dude, they're so fucking annoying, man. All their lead singer does is just blah, 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 and just fucking brutal screaming. And I was like, dude, I've got to fucking hear this. If it sucks that bad, let me hear it. And he literally gave me his copy of The Cleansing. And I remember like the first time that I turned it on, I was, you know, obviously blown back by it. I was like, holy fucking shit. That's a lot to soak in for, you know, your first 10 minutes of this band. But then, like, after sitting down and actually giving the album, like, a playthrough, I seriously enjoyed it. Because one of the fucking biggest things that I was thinking about the whole time is, dude, I've never heard somebody do that with their voice before. Like, I know the dude's scream might annoy some of you motherfuckers, and it might sound, like, super different. But, like, let's not sleep on the fact that, like, dude, nobody has ever sounded like that before.
The closest person to date is Will Ramos.
Will Ramos is, like I've told you before, Mama, I honestly, part of me wonders if that motherfucker is even human. With what him and Alex Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail can both do, I don't know, like, and, like, both of them are so talented, and, like, the Will Ramos thing is cool, because they put the cameras down his throat, and they've put needles in his neck and shit to, like, show you, oh, yeah. Yeah, they did another one to, like, literally, like, show you the other part of how his, like, throat actually... Dude, it's crazy. And when you sit down, you actually watch this shit. The kid is literally like he's a master of his craft. And in today's world of metal and like especially like the deathcore genre and like all of the like subgenres of death metal and all that kind of shit, what's happening right now in the metal world I think is more pivotal than like anything I've ever seen in my fucking 33 years of being into metal. I mean, literally, we have, you know, there's bands that are coming back right now that like haven't been. I mean, Shadows Fall, prime example. Shadows Fall hasn't been around in like years. I think over 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And they just started like coming back on this like, world tour that they're doing, right? Well, their fucking lead guitar player has been in Anthrax for the past fucking like 6 years.
Makes sense why they haven't done anything.
No, I mean, well, they moved on as a band and shit, but like this dude plays in, dude, he's played in Anthrax for the past several years. Like he hasn't been missing shit.
Yeah. He's still involved in the world.
Yeah, he's just been like honing in his fucking skills, and then on top of that, I remember you remember when I found Jeff Loomis back in the day, right? Mm-hmm. So Jeff Loomis, not only is he an incredible fucking guitar player, but he's from me and Mama's, pretty much home state, Washington. And he was in Nevermore for a long time. Super successful metal band from Seattle, Washington. And Jeff Loomis has been this like god of a fucking 7-string for years. I mean, shit, dude. For the longest time, his 7-string Schecter was like probably one of the most sought after 7-string guitars for a long time. It was up there with the JP guitars, the JP7, and from Music Man. Mm-hmm. And Jeff Loomis is now the fucking other guitar player of Arch Enemy. After all these years, yeah, after all these lineup changes, all the shit that keeps happening to these other bands, it's like, holy fucking shit. You gotta be kidding me. Like, what's next? What's next? You gotta be kidding me. Like, all this crazy shit that keeps happening. It's one thing after the next. From members, like, All That Remains has been around since the early 2000s, and they've been an extremely successful band in the metalcore world. In the metalcore genre for a really long time. And, I mean, fuck, we were just talking about Shadows Fall. Phil Labonte, the lead singer of All That Remains, a lot of people don't know that he was actually the original lead singer of Shadows Fall. Before Brian, the motherfucker who has the 6-foot dreads, before he joined Shadows Fall, Phil Labonte was actually the original vocalist of Shadows Fall. And what's crazy about that is, I mean, All That Remains has been around for a long time. Like I said, they're a super successful band, for what they do, all that kind of shit. They're a very successful band. But now Jason Richardson, one of the gnarliest fucking guitar players that has ever lived. I mean, easily that has ever lived on this planet.
Is Music Man that you have.
Yeah, that's who, that guitar right there, my 7-string right there, that's who, yeah. It's not his artist series. I have a Strandberg, right? Sterling by Music Man. Sorry, Music Man. Sterling by Music Man, Ernie Ball. And it's the Jason Richardson edition. And I love it. It's easily the fucking nicest guitar that I've ever played. But Jason Richardson is like this virtuoso, right? I mean, he came in from, some kid who joined All Shall Perish on tour, and fucking rocked everyone's world to... He joined Born of Osiris and was in Born of Osiris, I think, for one album. And they fired him. And then after he gets fired from Boo, he joins Chelsea Grin. And he does two albums with Chelsea Grin, which still to date, my 2 favorite Chelsea Grin albums. By a fucking landslide.
The 2 that he's in.
Oh, yeah. And then... Obviously, he's done so fucking successful on his own. It's like mind-blowing. If anybody hasn't gone out and listened to what Jason Richardson did with Lindsey Sterling's Arena and all that kind of shit, that woman can play the fucking violin, but that motherfucker can play the guitar. And the way that he transcribed that shit onto the fucking guitar is like such next level shit. It's literally the most beautiful shit I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. And it's on a guitar. Like, First time I ever heard it, it literally almost brought tears to my eyes. It made me emotional because it's just shit that you don't see. Nobody does that. Nobody's ever fucking even thought about that kind of shit. And he does it like it's easy. It's almost hard to watch him because he just makes it look like it's fucking effortless. And he sounds flawless. I mean, fuck, I don't think that I've found a Jason Richardson song yet that I haven't been like, okay, yeah, that's a fucking masterpiece, you know? But now he's in All That Remains. He went from this deathcore, metalcore, like, not even, I guess they both were kind of more deathcore. I mean, from All Shall Perish all the way up through Chelsea Grin and Boo, that's a lot more deathcore. And then he ends up joining, like, literally a fucking big dick swinging in metalcore. I mean, All That Remains has been around for a long time, and they're you know, it's up there. Honestly, it's kind of up there with like Killswitch Engage. You know, they're a big fucking name in that genre. They're not a band that's ever been slept on, and he's in that band now, and it's like, wait a fucking second, how's that gonna work? And so far, in all the shit that I've seen, it's literally fucking phenomenal. Like, he only made the band better. Right. The band's still fucking incredible, but he only made them better, you know? And so, I'm excited. Like, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with some of these other bands. You know, I mean, I know that Lamb of God's got new shit that's coming out. Fit for an Autopsy has a brand new album that's supposed to come out, like, very soon. And I'm really hoping to go see them live in November, because that's going to be the fucking show right there. You know, there's fucking Falling in Reverse is having an explosion right now. Fuck, I didn't think that was going to happen at all. In all honesty, I was pretty sure everyone was just going to sleep on Ronald Radke for the rest of his fucking career. And once again, I guess Ronald Radke just decided to give the world the finger and show all of us that he is very fucking relevant. Because that son of a bitch is still popping up on my goddamn news feed like every fucking day. It's like the world is not going to not cancel Ronald Radke. You know what I mean? Like, they're busting their fucking asses on that shit. But it's hard because now he's got artists like, oh, that's another fucking point of mine. He's got artists like Tech Nine and Jelly Roll coming onto songs with him now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't know if we can put, I mean, Falling in Reverse has to fall into the metal category. Because, I mean, they're not like the heaviest band on the planet by any means, but I mean, Ronald Radke comes from Escape the Fate, and Escape the Fate, even though they're emo, they were like metalcore emo. Mm-hmm. You know, they weren't like a soft band. You know, they had the screamo shit going on with the heavy distorted guitars, all that. So, I mean, you've got to consider them metal, you know, but changing the genre, you know, bringing the genre to this new limelight with bringing Tech Nine on. I guess Slipknot brought Tech Nine into a song too. Mm-hmm. Corey Taylor or whatever. He did that soft song with Tech Nine or whatever. So, I mean, I guess that's been going on for a little bit, but it's a lot to soak in. It's a lot to soak in. It's a lot of ground to cover. And that's why we're here. Because there's a lot to talk about. There really is. That's just the metal world. I mean, I haven't even brushed into what's going on in the guitar world right now. That's just starting to fucking melt my bread. Between the new guitars that are coming out, the gear, I've told you all about the fucking Quad Cortex, and that's the piece of gear that as a guitar player of the past 20 years, I'm not only so obsessed with that piece of gear right now, but I've never wanted a piece of guitar gear so bad in my entire fucking life. Like, never in my entire life have I wanted just one piece of guitar gear. Like, fuck guitars and shit right now. I could give 2 fucks if I get another guitar in the next, like, 5 years. Just give me a goddamn Quad Cortex. Please. Neural DSP. Pretty please. I need a Quad Cortex, and then I will be able to fucking do everything. Don't need to buy no more fucking amps, nothing like that. It's literally, like, it's by far the coolest, like, most state-of-the-art piece of music equipment that I think I've ever seen. It's fascinating. Between that and the guitars, that's the other hard part, trying to decide on if I'm going to buy a new guitar. What fucking guitar am I going to even go with? You know, I'm a diehard Fit for an Autopsy fan, so I'm wanting to lean towards like Ibanez, you know, and all that kind of shit. But at the same time, like, you know me, I can't stop thinking about Jackson.
Yeah, and the PRS.
PRS is just, I mean, I think for the rest of my life, PRS is probably going to have one of the biggest spots in my heart for a guitar company because just how beautiful their guitars come out. But holy fucking shit, when we're looking at price tags, good lord.
Yeah.
Good lord. But it makes sense. I mean, I've played a few PRSs, and I've got to say, they are amazing instruments to fuck around on. They are incredible instruments to play. They're smooth. They're comfortable as fuck. They're light as shit. But I don't know. There's been two of them that I've played. I played the. I don't want to get the names wrong. But there's Tim Mahoney from 311, I think is his name. And then I played a Tremonti at a Guitar Center a while ago. And the Tremonti was good. It was kind of comfortable, but it was heavier than I imagined it being. Like the neck was a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be. Whereas like the Tim Mahoney one, it felt like there was something missing. Like it felt like it almost didn't have like enough oomph of what I was looking for on the guitar. But I played that Frederick Ackison signature PRS, and that was one of the smoothest guitars I've ever played in my life. Hands down. Easily one of the dopest guitars I've ever played in my life. So. Huh? No, you're fine. You gonna bounce out? Yeah. I think I'm calling this. I've been going at it for, it looks like about an hour. And so I haven't really gotten any more viewers.
That's okay. It was your first live?
Yeah, it's my first hour in here, hanging out, bullshitting. It was fun. I'm gonna make sure that everything else is dialed in for the next sit down. Make sure that we can get the music to be able to be shared in here, and make sure that the guitar is set up so that we can start doing some guitar playthroughs and some music writing sessions and shit in here. But yeah, I mean, if anybody listens to this later, I hope that you guys enjoy it. I'm going to be back on hopefully 2-3 days a week and talking about metal, talking about horror shit. And yeah.
Don't forget to hit that bell.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell. And let's keep this shit going. It's going to be fun as fuck. I'm hella excited. Yeah, get everybody in here. This is going to be a party. Gonna start doing interviews, all that kind of shit. We got a few things lined up with some people that would be a lot of fun to have on here. And so that's going to be happening. And then, yeah, we're going to go off on different segments of, you know, beer tasting. Sounds like me and my oldest might start up a separate channel for doing cooking, and she wants to start doing some gaming videos and stuff. So a lot of you are going to be able to look forward to that shit. And, yeah, otherwise, like I said, I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out, and fucking see you guys next time, dude. Later.